Namaste, Adab, Sat Sri Akal. This is CA Sankalp Khanstia, and I welcome each one of you in this another amazing session of a revision for case study digest. So today we are going to start with episode number 4, and the two sums that we have picked up are case study skill based assessment questions. One of them is first on special order, whether we should accept the special order or not. So decision making is the theme chapter. Second is a reconciliation question based on standard costing. So two important chapters. Chapter number 6, decision making. In that, special order decision is what we have to take. And the second is chapter number 12, which is standard costing. In that, reconciliation statement, that is the theme. So based on this, let us start with our session. Two very good questions coming your way. Let's start. So please open your case study digest so that we can start. Everybody with me, let's start. I hope now you are clear that first we will read the question. As and when we are reading the question, we will step into the shoes of the question. So we will become the CEO of the question. Yes, I am the CEO of this company, Pristine Makers. All right. And now, if I, as a management accountant, I am faced with this issue that Pristine Makers is faced with, then what will be my approach? How will I solve this question is what you and me have to decide. Are we ready? Then let's get started. All right, cool. So Pristine Makers is one of the largest laundry service provider for suits. So suits, suppose assume that this I'm wearing is a suit, a coat, a blazer, and Pristine Makers does the laundry for this. So have you ever visited a 5-star hotel? You are an article clerk, you wouldn't even know what is a 5-star hotel. I'll tell you, I'm a chartered, so I visited it a lot of times. So any 5-star hotel, if you go, so they have a special department of laundry and all of that. So Pristine Makers is one of them who does the laundry for suits. Okay. The firm has a set price of rupees 510 for cleaning the suit. So suppose if you go there and you ask that, sir, I have to clean the suit set, what would be the cost? And you will get an answer, sir, rupees 510. Okay, so why has Pristine Maker approached us? So assume that Pristine Maker is talking to you. Pristine Maker is telling you that, sir, we are into the making into the laundry of suit set, and if any customer comes to us, we tell them that the suit set, all of that suit set laundry will be done in rupees 510. My immediate question will be, how on this earth did you calculate this 510? So in the next line, suit set or Pristine Makers is telling me how have they calculated the selling price of 510. Let's read. Pristine Makers derived this price as follows. Cleaning materials rupees 35, labor 3 hours at the rate 50 per hour, rupees 150, variable overheads 70, fixed overheads 3 hours at the rate 45 per hour 45, plus markup of 70% on total cost. So this is how they have calculated their selling price. So they have taken what all? One, they have taken a cleaning material. So cleaning material is what they take, which costs them rupees 35. One. So every suit set that they get, they use some amount of cleaning material. It could be anything, maybe some liquid or something that they put on the suit, and then they do the laundry. Okay, I'm a chartered, I don't know how do they do it, I'm just imagining to my limitation. Okay. Second, labor 3 hours at the rate 50 per hour. So we also call some labor to do the work, and the rate is 3 hours at the rate 50 per hour. Variable overheads rupees 70, and fixed overheads is 3 hours at the rate 15 per hour at the rate 45. I'm sure this fixed overhead is nothing but an absorbed fixed overhead. All right. So far so good. Pristine Makers is a laundry business doing laundry of suit set, charging rupees 510 from the customers. How did they get this 510? They say that, sir, in order to do a laundry of a suit set, we need some cleaning material which costs us rupees 35. Sir, we also need some labor which costs us rupees 150, and some variable overhead which costs us rupees 150, and which costs us rupees 70, and fixed overhead which costs us rupees 45. Okay, sir, continuing. Pristine Makers is known for its quality work and timely delivery. Hence, customers are willing to pay this premium price. Isn't it the price premium? Very premium, sir. 500 rupees is almost a stipend of an article clerk for 1 week. And that too when he is working for 10 hours a day. Right? Okay. So, sir, it's very high. But people, see, always remember, people will pay a premium for your product if it is worth it. So, Pristine Makers is known for its quality work. Pristine Makers is known for its quality work and timely delivery. Both quality work and timely delivery. Hence, customers are willing to pay the premium price. Fair enough. Firms' employees receive a fixed salary, but obvious. The hourly rate rupees 50. Acha. Okay, just a moment. Just a moment. Okay, so here the hourly rate that they have calculated of rupees 50, so which is labor wala hourly rate probably, is arrived at by dividing the total salary by the total number of hours available. So for the laborer, they are paying payment on hourly basis. No, actually not on hourly basis, on totality. So they are being paid a fixed salary. It is just that it is then divided by the number of hours, so you get the hourly rate. I'll give you an example. Suppose you are an article clerk, correct? And the articleship stipend that you are making is, now I'm assuming that when you are watching this lecture, probably you would be in your second or third year of articleship. So let's assume you are earning rupees 5,000 per month as your stipend, correct? Now, obviously this 5,000 per month is a fixed stipend. This 5,000 per month is a fixed stipend for you for, say, working from your timings are, say, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Suppose you have this timing. So if you are working for 25 days in a month and the total number of hours per day is 8 hours, can I say effectively you are working for 200 hours in a month? Correct? So 5,000 hours per month salary for working of 200 hours per month, can I say we will get your hourly rate. So what is the hourly rate that you are drawing? Sir, can I say it is rupees 25 per hour? Are you understanding, guys? It is rupees 25 per hour. Hey, samjhigadu. Are we clear, everybody? So 25 per hour will become your hourly rate. That's how they've calculated the hourly rate for the laborer. So laborer is a person who is a fixed employee and who is being paid a fixed salary. So what they have done is they've just divided by the number of hours that totally is working. Now, for a stipend of 5,000 per month for working for 200 hours, how much are you getting? You are getting 12.5 rupees 25 per hour. So if you are getting rupees 25 per hour, it's not that you are getting it on a variable basis. You are getting a fixed salary. It is just that if we want to convert it into hourly basis, this is the approach probably that we will take. Nothing else. Are we clear? Okay, continuing. Next, variable overheads depend on the number of suits cleaned, whereas fixed, variable overheads depend on the number of suits cleaned. So this variable overheads is in real variable overheads. This variable overheads is in real variable overhead. whereas fixed overheads is derived by dividing the total cost of all related expenses by number of hours available. So fixed overhead generally include office rent and administrative salary. So can I say this fixed overhead is nothing but absorbed in nature? It is absorbed in nature. See, very beautifully what we've done is we've carved out every expenditure that we saw for Pristine Works into what it actually stands for. Now this will help us when we are solving some main thing. All right, so that's the reason I'm telling you, always read the question with a full focus on concept clarity, and once you are done with that, after that come back, make a summary of it, and then move on. So now we've read the question with full focus. We've also had a clarity of what every cost stands for. Now is the time, correct? You guessed it right, for making the summary. So let's get started. So now question, the name of the question is Pristine Makers. So we will start with that. Pristine Makers is the name of the question, and let's start with its solution. Let's start with its solution. Okay, so Pristine Makers, a laundry service provider. We can just write this down so that the examiner knows that we are very much focused on the question. Learn laundry service provider. Okay, they have told us that the selling price or the fees that they charge for doing the laundry suit set is rupees 510, of which they also incur some costs. Let's discuss about them. First cost that they spoke of was some cleaning material. Okay, for cleaning material they have said that they charge rupees 35 per hour. They charge rupees 35 per suit. So cleaning material costs how much? Rupees 35 per suit. Correct? Okay. Then labor, 3 hours at the rate 50 per hour. 3 hours labor. Next is labor. Labor is how much? Labor is 3 hours at the rate 50 per hour. Sorry. Yeah. So 3 hours at the rate rupees 50 per hour. But let us tell you that this labor hour, as of now, what we can see is kind of a salary nature labor. It is a salary natured labor. Now also adding one more thing to this, that if you want to remember how did I calculate this, then I gave you an idea that suppose if you are going to get a stipend of rupees 5,000 and you are spending 200 hours, per month. 5,000 is also per month. So we will get this as rupees 25 per hour. Are we clear? Okay. So this is about labor. This is how they have calculated the hourly rate. Ideal it is fixed, but hourly rate is also available. Okay. Now, why do you usually calculate the hourly rates, or what was the need for them to calculate the hourly rate? I'll tell you. Suppose you are doing your article shift. As I told you, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. is your article shift time. So you will go there, do that. Now, suppose if you have to stretch someday, suppose it is a tax audit season or some statutory audit is to be done. So evening 7 to 10 additional you have to wait. Suppose evening 7 to 10 additional you have to wait. Then in that case, the 3 hours extra that you are putting, can I say you will be eligible for some overtime? Yes, sir, obviously I have worked extra. I need overtime. So whatever overtime that is to be paid, then how it will be calculated? So for that purpose, we've kept ready the hourly rate also, so that if you have to give overtime, then we know what is the rate to be charged. And if it is in general, then 5,000 per month is the salary that you are going to get. I hope you are crystal clear with this point. This point was amazingly put. Otherwise, you will get confused in this calculation of labor. Got it, macha? Okay, continuing. Third. Okay, next is, so this is done, labor is done. Variable overheads rupees 70. So next is variable overheads. Variable overheads. And how much is that? It is rupees 70. And can I say 70 per suit? 70 per suit. Can I say it is now purely variable in nature? Can I say it is purely variable in nature? Can I say cleaning material is also variable in nature? Samjhi Guru? Okay. Moving on. And then lastly, fixed overheads 3 hours at the rate rupees 15 per hour and 45. Now obviously this is just absorbed in nature. So fixed overheads is rupees 45. And how did you get this? 3 hour at the rate 15 per hour. But they have clearly said in the question, they have clearly said that fixed overhead generally include office rent and administrative salary, and they are derived by dividing the total cost related to expenses by number of hours available. So nonetheless, we come to know that this is absorbed in nature. This is absorbed in nature. Are we clear? So this is how the whole cost sheet of Pristine Suit Makers looks like. I hope absolutely clear. Now this is going to be the base foundation for something now that is going to come up. All right, sure, let's move on. You want to write this down? Just giving you all 2 minutes. Quickly read this first paragraph and then connect it to this and write it down. This summary is going to be the most helpful thing for you. Okay, let's move on. Now, a local hotel approached Pristine Makers as the regular cleaners of these suits are on strike. Acha, a local hotel has approached Pristine Makers now. Suppose we are the CEO of Pristine Makers and a new hotel maker CEO has approached us and they are asking why they have come to us, because the regular laundry people are on strike. No problem. Let's find out an opportunity in adversity. What's it? Okay. About the possibility of cleaning 130 suits in coming week, and they need the work done on a rush basis. Okay. So order is for 130 suits. Okay. Pristine makers has sufficient quantity of required cleaning material in stock for special order. One. Second, it perceives, so cleaning material information they have given, it perceives that it could complete 60% of special order during normal working hours. However, to complete remaining 40%, some employees will have to work overtime, and overtime hours are paid at premium, which could be time and half the normal hourly rate. This is the information for labor. So see, we should know about various information. One is material, other was labor. Variable overhead is variable overhead, and fixed overheads is absorbed in nature. So for special order, is the fixed overheads increasing? Let's see if there is any incremental fixed. No, now they have come to the required part. So can I say that this is where the question ends? Okay, this is where the question ends. Alrighty. Okay, so this is where the required part starts. Let's focus. So my iPad is doing some disco. Okay, so let's start from here again. So Pristine Makers has been approached for a special order in which they are asking us to do a laundry of 130 suits. Now, using the concept of relevant cost, we will have to solve this question. Let's come to the required part on that note. Advise the price it shall quote for the special order. Does the special order deal with excess supply or excess demand? Advise whether such special order be accepted on rush basis. So first things first is what we will do, and we will find out the quotation. We will find out the quotation of the special order. Chalo, let's start and find out the quotation of the special order. So here we will start. Okay, so required part 1, calculation of relevant cost. See what they have asked in the question. Advise the price it shall quote for the special order. So first what we will do is, first we will at least find out what should be the minimum price that should be charged. What should be charged? So how will you calculate the minimum price? Always remember, calculation of minimum price is equal to recovery of relevant costs. Words to be noted, golden lines. Calculation of minimum price is always the relevant cost to be recovered. Sir, can you write it down? Definitely, I will do that. So we are doing calculation of relevant cost first, and then we will calculate the minimum price to be charged. So always remember, minimum price is equal to recovery of relevant costs. So first things that we are going to do is calculate the relevant cost. So let's make a cost sheet for relevant cost. Let's make a cost sheet for relevant cost. Okay, let's start. Okay, first cost that they are going to incur is for cleaning material. Now they have said that for every suit the cleaning material will be required. So can I say that by default becomes a relevant cost? They have said that it is already in stock, but they have not said that it is not in use. So if it is in stock, obviously we are regularly using that cleaning material for our laundry purposes. So if we already have it and we are now going to use it for the new special order suits, then we will have to replace it. Replacement cost, if nothing is given, then by default whatever the cost is there, that exists. So we will say cleaning material is nothing but variable in nature and therefore will be at the rate rupees 35. So 130 suits into 35 per suit for cleaning material will give us how much? Where's the calculator? So 35 into 130, 4550. Correct? Okay. Second, what else? Labor. Mark this as very, very important. So for labor, what is going to be the cost? If I was the examiner, and I had to give marks, the maximum marks that I will award to the student who has done labors working correctly, because according to me that is the most trickiest working. Correct? Now let's do it. See, you will not find it tricky because the explanation that we have got is sufficient enough for you to drill down on the base concept. But if you do it for the first time, you will not be able to interpret all this, and then you may goof up in the answer. All right, so let's appreciate that and let's move on. So we will say that for labor, what they've said is per suit it takes 3 hours. So per suit it takes 3 hours. So 130 suits are there. 130 suits are there into 3 hours per suit. 3 hours per suit. So total, can I say we need 390 hours? In all, we need 390 hours for the labor work. Correct? Okay. Of which they have said 60% of the special work will be done during normal working hours. Yes, you are right. So 60% of the work will be done during normal working hours. So out of this 390 hours, normal 60% work will be done in normal hours, and for normal hours we are any which case paying them a fixed salary. So is there any additional cost that we are incurring for that 60%? No. It is like, suppose you are going to work for 200 hours per month in your articleship, so 8 hours per day. Of this, suppose your boss comes and tells you 6 hours per day, 6 hours per day do normal work, and for 2 hours I am giving you some special work. In all, you are working for 8 hours, you are going to get the same stipend. Does it bother you? The answer is no. So same way, the 60% of special order work will not result into any incremental cost, but the 40% which is incremental in nature, because we have to work overtime. So how many hours you have to work overtime? So 390 into 40% equal to 156 hours. How much? 156 hours. So 156 hours is what you will work overtime. Correct? Now what is the rate that you are paying? So 156 hours at the rate, this is the reason we had calculated the rate, and the rate is 50 per hour, but this is also 1.5 times, so it becomes 75 per hour. So 156 at the rate 75, and 156 into 75 will work out to rupees 11,700. Hey, Samjigudu, are we clear? Everybody? Yes or no? Thank you so much. Cool. I hope now we are on the right track and conceptually strong. Cool. Chalo. So this was about labor. So again, I'm telling you, for the 60% part, we are any which way is going to pay them the fixed salary. So for the remaining 40% part is what we will take extra charge. Kind of, it is like an incremental cost actually for Pristine makers, which should be taken in the calculation of relevant cost. Subject. Okay. And then comes the third part. Sir, what is the third part? Third part is your variable overheads. For 70 per suit, variable in nature, this was the easiest that we could have got. So a variable overheads is a 130 at the rate 70 per suit. So 170 into 130 will give us 9,100. It will give us 9,100. Done. Okay. Fourth part. Fixed overheads. Now, because of this additional special order that we are getting, is there any impact on the fixed overheads? Is there any incremental overheads of fixed cost? Answer is no. And hence, fixed overheads, we will say, is absorbed in nature. Absorbed in nature, or you can say unavoidable. So hence irrelevant and ignored. Irrelevant and ignored. Dash. So we get with this the minimum price to be charged. We will get the minimum price to be charged. Minimum price to be charged, and that is how much? So 4550 plus 11,700 plus 9,100, so 25,350 divide by 130 suits will give us 195 rupees. 195 per suit. Woo! Are we understanding? Cool. Please copy it down. Giving you all 2 minutes. Your time starts now. So you can pause the video if you want. Yes. Chalo. So I hope we are clear with this part. Let's now come back. So advice, the price it shall quote for the special order. Now minimum price we can tell. Now it is now up to pristine makers that 195 per suit is the minimum price that you have to charge. Now for the remaining part, how much markup that you want to put, that it depends on you. Correct? So minimum price is what we can give them. Does the special order decision with excess supply or excess demand? Does the special order deal with excess supply or excess demand? Yes, it does. So in case of labor, we can clearly see that there is excess supply of labor. So 60%, which was excess supply, we did not charge for that, because any which case we could do that work in the normal working hours. But as soon as that was over, then we charged some overtime for that 40% work. So that is where the labor part becomes very, very important. The labor part becomes very, very important. All right. So that is where the excess thing is taken care of. So is the case with fixed overhead. See, now in that second part, what they're trying to ask is an explanation of all of this. So cleaning material, even if it is in excess, but still because it is regular in use, we will have to replace it. So replacement cost is the current cost. For labor, we clearly gave an answer that 40% is extra that we will have to need, so we will charge for that. Variable overhead is purely variable in nature. Whatever extra suits required, extra variable cost at the rate 70. Fixed overheads will not be charged because that overall fixed overheads is absorbed in nature, so no incremental cost as such. All right. Okay, and let's move on to the third part. Whether such special order should be accepted on rush basis. Now this is the important question. See, first thing, that what are we going to charge? So the first part of the question asked us what is the charges that you are going to take. So 195 is the minimum relevant cost. Now beyond that, we will see if we are giving quality, then we may even charge a special price from them. If we at times, what happens is, suppose now the hotel industry, they are facing issues because other laundry people have gone on strike, we can use that as a opportunity. So probably we can build a long-term relationship with them and price it in such a way so that it is lesser than the laundry people that they are currently paying, that the other hotel owners are currently paying, and it is higher than our minimum relevant cost. So that could be done. If we feel no, it is just a one time that they've come, then we may charge exorbitant fees also, because see, we know that they are going to come to us, and we also know second time they are not going to come to us. So if that is the case, then you can charge exorbitant fees also, no worries. So that's how the whole pricing methodology should work up. So now in the third case, rush order is there. See, in the first paragraph itself, they told us that Pristine Makers focuses on quality. So if they are taking a rush order, ensure that quality is not compromised. And if you feel that taking a rush order, you will compromise on your current or those quality, then it is not advisable qualitatively to take that. But overall, in a nutshell, I feel we should go ahead with the special order, as it results into a incremental net benefit. And as far as rush order is concerned, I think Pristine Makers is in a position to manage it. Okay, so with this, we complete the question. I hope we are absolutely clear conceptually, logically, and thoroughly. So here it is. You can just go through all that I have explained to you in detail is what is written here. See, here also they have said there are two sides of the coin. One side, firm can earn more profits by taking the special order. On the other hand, the orders needs to be delivered urgently. Therefore, accepting rush orders may affect the quality of service, and timely delivery may not be complied with, for which what Pristine Makers is famous for. Hence, the goodwill and brand name will be affected. In turn, will affect the future profitability. Though immediate monetary benefits are seen, long-term consequences may need to be analyzed before accepting the rush order. So don't give a no, but we will analyze before going ahead with this rush order. See, in such kind of situations, you have to be a diplomatic answerer, whether it should be accepted on rush basis. So they are trying to force you to say a no. So accept it. Okay, we will say a no also, but at the same time we will say that no, other things will also be analyzed. So always remember, such answers should be given in a diplomatic manner. Okay. The firm manager would need to consider both short-term. See, this is called as diplomacy. We will consider both short-term benefits from accepting the order and long-run consequences on profitability. Long-run consequences on profitability. Hey, Sanjigadu. Okay, please, everybody. So with this, we are done with this questionnaire. You want to write anything, you can write. I think I gave you all time. Now, time to start with the next question. Okay, then on that note, let's move on to the next question. Woohoo! So, this is a question of standard costing with reconciliation. Disclaimer. First, please watch out my standard costing revision videos just below these videos. So, very recently, I have put up all revision videos of standard costing. So, there is one specific video in which we are speaking of standard costing with reconciliation. So please watch out that video and then come to this. You will find it very, very easy. I hope I am clear. Also, what I'll do is I'll share in the description box below. I'll share the link of that lecture of reconciliation in case you are not aware. Okay. Chalo. On that note, let's get started with this questionnaire. During September 2020, Sandy offers bundling and item packing facilities for standard size 24 by 12 by 10 to give best facility to satisfy its industrial customers' need at Great Ocean Warehouse. Okay, Sandy plans to pack 93 plans. So can I say he's talking of a standard? So he plans to pack 93,750 items at the rate of rupees 4.5 per item. Okay. So can I say this can be my sales quantity? Yes, everybody. So plans means, can I say this is, he's speaking of the standard. So this, he plans to pack 93,750 items. Can I say this can be my sale quantity, or what you call it as output? Okay, at the rate of rupees 4.5 per item. Can I say this will be my selling price? Sandy estimates the variable cost will be equal to rupees 1.5 per item packed, and that fixed cost will be equal to rupees 58,000 per month. So selling price is given, sales quantity is given, will be equal to, so Standy estimates that the variable cost will be equal to how much? 1.5 per item. So can I say this is my standard variable overhead per unit, and this will be my fixed overhead. Woohoo! Samjhigadu. Okay. In September 2020. In September 2020, Sandy packed 1,12,500 items received. Sorry, 500 items he packed. Okay, so can I say he actually, this is what he did, and received rupees, this as total revenue. However, Sandy paid rupees 1,80,000 on resources. In addition, 70 paid rupees 70,000 to warehouse admin for rent, electricity and other charges. This past September was usually hot, and Sandy is charged a percentage of warehouse actual electricity bill required. Okay, prepare a budgeted reconciliation statement report along with suitable analysis. See, now if this was an old syllabus question, even in old syllabus there is a reconciliation report to be prepared, then they would have just said prepare a budget reconciliation report, full stop. But look at a new syllabus question, and along with suitable analysis. All right, so on that note, let us quickly start with this question. Okay, Sandy is the name of the question. Hey Sandy, how are you? All right, let's start with the solution. So see, what they have done is they've given us budgeted information in a descriptive manner, correct? And then they've also given some actual information in descriptive manner. What we will do is we will quickly just put it in a tabular form. We will put it in a tabular form. So we have particulars, we have the budgets, and we have the actuals. So particulars, budgets, and the actuals. Okay, let's see what is the information. Can I say the first information that we have got is sales quantity, correct? Then if you have read the question properly, then we will see there is something selling price, there is something called as sales revenue also we can get, variable cost is there, and fixed cost is there. So sales quantity is there, selling price per unit is there, which will take us to sales revenue. At the same time, variable cost is there. Can I say this will give us contribution? Sales minus variable cost will give us contribution. And then to sum it up, we have fixed cost as well. And once fixed cost is deducted, we will get net profit. We will get net profit. So let's write that down. Net profit. All right. Okay, sir. Done. Okay. Chalo. So sales quantity is how much? 93,750. And actually is how much? 1,12,500. So 93,750 and 1,12,500 units. Gotcha. Okay, selling price 4.5 per unit, and the other is other, they've not given the selling price. In the actual, they've given the total revenue value, which is 5,06,250. No problem. Can I say we will easily be able to calculate? We will easily be able to calculate the selling price per unit. So 5,06,250. 5,06,250 divide by 1,12,500 equal to rupees 4. Oh wow. So selling price is same for budget and actual, so we have sold it for same price, no variance there. Okay, and can I have the sales revenue here? So can I say it will be 93,750 into 4.5, so which is rupees 4,021 lakh 875. Samjhudu. Okay, less variable cost. What is the variable cost here? Rupees 1.5 per item packed, and however Sandy paid rupees 1,80,000 on resources. Okay, so 1,80,000 here, and one I think it is how much into 1.5, right? It is 1,40,625. But remember, this is for 93,750 units. Okay, 1.5 per unit is the variable cost. 1.5 per unit is the variable cost. Okay, now we'll get the contribution. How much? 421,875 minus 140,625. So 281,250 and 506,250 minus 1,80,000. So 326,250. Got it? Okay. Then 58,000 and 70,000. So 58,000, 70,000. Quickly, let's do the mathematics. So 356,250 minus 70,000. So 256,250 is the actual profit, whereas the budgeted was 2,23,250. So all that we've done is removed the lines and converted that into a table, a tabular form. Now obviously the budget and actuals should tally, but it doesn't, and that give rise to the reconciliation statement and variances. So we here have to analyze the variance calculation and the basically the reconciliation statement for the variance in net profit. Samjigadu, chalo everybody, please copy. Start. Okay, let's start with the reconciliation statement. So, reconciliation statement starts with budgeted profit, correct? Huh? All the variances which happen are added or subtracted depending whether they are favorable or adverse. So what is the budgeted profit? So it is 223 250. Okay, what is the actual profit? What is the actual profit? So the actual profit is 256 250 256 250. Can I say in between what are there are variances? Obviously say there is a budgeted profit, ideally it should match, but it doesn't match. What could be the reason? The variances could be the reason. So let's start it step by step. First, let's focus on the sales related variance. First, let's focus on the sales related variance. So in sales related variances, so first we are focusing on sales related variances. Always remember, whenever we are whenever we are doing a reconciliation statement, in case of sales variances, we are focused on the sales margin variances. Now, in case of sales margin variances, we will say that there are two kinds. One is sales margin price variance, which in this case will be nothing but zero. So why? Because my selling price per unit is what? Is a big zero. So if selling price is zero, then in that case your margin variance is obviously is going to be zero. Sales margin price variance will be zero. But you have your sales margin volume variance, which will have to be taken care of. So let's calculate the sales margin volume variance, which will be how much? Budgeted sales quantity minus actual sales quantity into budgeted margin. Now remember one thing. What is that one thing? That here the margin is budgeted selling price minus budgeted cost. Now you will say that, sir, how did you get the formula? Refer to my all revision videos of standard costing where I've taught you the formula logically. So many videos are there that I put on standard costing. Detailed videos are there of 6 hours, of 4 hours, of 3 hours, of 2 hours. Pick up anything, start watching. So sales margin volume variance. Here now, what is the budgeted sales quantity? 93,750. What is the actual sales quantity? 1,12,500 into budgeted selling price. What is the budgeted selling price? Tell me, what is the budgeted selling price that we have? Can I say, sir, it is 4.5. Acha, what is the budgeted variable cost? Because we are focusing on what? On the contribution margin. So budgeted contribution margin. What is that? Budgeted variable cost is 3, I guess, or 1.5. Sorry, 1.5. So contribution is 3 rupees. So we will say it is 1.5. So budgeted contribution is 3, and that's what we will write here. So 93,750 minus 1,12,500 into 3 is 56,250. Favorable. Why favorable, sir? Because we are able to sell more than the budgeted. Is are we clear, everybody? So 56,250 favorable. So we will write here, add sales margin volume variance, sales margin volume variance, which is 56 to 50, and it is favorable. And it is favorable. Samjh gadu? Okay. Next in line is so sales part is done, is variable cost variance. So here we will write down, add or less, that time will tell, but variable overheads cost variance, variable overheads cost variance. Now what is variable overheads cost variance? See here, variable overheads cost variance variable overheads cost variance. Now what is variable overheads cost variance? Can I say it is standard variable overhead minus actual variable overhead? Correct? Now tell me one thing. Suppose you are the variable overheads manager. Suppose you are planning to produce 10,000 units at a variable cost of rupees 3 per unit. So what will be your variable overhead cost? Sir, it will be 30,000 rupees. Okay, we understand, sir. Now in actual you produce 12,000 units at a variable cost of 2.9, and your overall cost was 12,000 into 2.9, which is rupees 34,800. Now suppose I come to you and I start shouting at you that you had told that variable overhead cost will be 30,000, but you have increased it to 34,800. You don't know how to work. There is a big adverse variance. Will you accept this? The answer is no, sir. What are you comparing? Sir, I had said 30,000 for 10,000 units. Sir, you have made 12,000 units. Sir, so ideally for 12,000 units, the variable cost would have been 36,000. Now compare it with 34,800, sir. Are you understanding? So in this case also, variable overhead, you cannot subtract directly 146.25 minus 1,80,000, because this 146.25 is for 93,750 units. So is it comparable with 1,80,000, which is on 1,12,500 units? The answer is no. Are you getting my point? Can you compare 30,000 with 34,800? The answer is no, because 30,000 is for 10,000 units, whereas 34,800 is for 12,000 units. Both are not comparable. When will it be comparable? When the total variable cost for 12,000 units is compared, when budgeted 12,000 units cost, variable cost is compared with actual 12,000 units cost. So here also we will say that standard variable overhead per unit into actual production we will have to do, minus actual variable overhead we have is 1,80,000. Now what is my standard variable overhead per unit? Can I say it is 1.5? Actual production 1,12,500 minus 1,80,000. So 1.5 into 1,12,500 is 1,68,750 minus 1,80,000. So can I say that we have saved on cost of rupees 11,250, and that, ladies and gentlemen, will be favorable, because it will be adverse. We have incurred a higher cost. So sorry, we have incurred a higher cost. We thought it will cost us 1,68,750. Ideally, it should cost 1,68,750 for 1,12,000 units. Ideally, it should cost 1,68,750 for 1,12,500 units. But you have cost 1,80,000. So you have cost higher. Also, alternatively, you can do is 1,80,000 divided by 1,12,500 units will give you 1.6. So 1.5 minus 1.6. for actual production of 1,12,500. So 0.1 you are incurring more. So 11,250 advance. Hey, are we clear, everybody? So we will write here variable overheads variance 11,250 adverse, so less. And lastly, fixed cost. Fixed cost for such kind of marginal cost oriented questions, there's only one fixed cost, and that is fixed overheads expenditure variance. See, mind you, we have solved it using marginal costing approach. So we have calculated this recon statement using marginal approach. Sir, how do you decide marginal approach? Because we had variable cost, we had fixed cost, and there was sales. So contribution is what we had, and therefore we could easily use this approach. So fixed overhead variable expenditure variance also we will say is 12,000 adverse. So we thought that 58,000 will be the cost, but oh, it is 70,000. So 12,000 higher we have paid. So 56,250. Let's do the calculations. Wow, 223,250. Add 56,250 less 11,250 less 12,256,250. Bingo! It is like matching or tallying of a balance sheet. Are we clear, everybody? So please, all yours, copy. Now, as you are copying, let's quickly discuss the reasons also. So what they've told us, reconcile and analyze it in detail. So when we analyze it in detail, we come to know that for sales margin volume variance, we have sold higher than what we had expected, hence favorable, and we have sold approximately 15,000 higher units. For variable overheads, we were planning to incur 1.5 per unit, but instead we have incurred 1.6. And for fixed overheads, we thought it will be fixed overheads not dependent on production. So we thought it will be 58,000. It indeed worked out to 70,000. So 12,000 adverse in the case of fixed overheads scenario. Samjugadu. Chalo, great. So that's where we complete this session, ladies and gentlemen. You can go ahead and read down all of the theory that is given here, which is nothing but what I have explained to you. So see, Sandy's sales contribution variance equals the difference. So they've just given an explanation. We don't need to give an explanation because we have solved it using the formulas. We have solved it. They have given an explanation of this formula. So what they have given is they've written it that budgeted sales quantity less actual sales quantity into budgeted margin will give us a favorable variance. So they've explained it. We've already used the formula, so we need to not do that at all. Then so each item is budgeted to contribute 3, and 18,750 more items are sold. So it's a favorable variance. As I told you, what we've written in formula, we've just written it in descriptive. So can we do that? Definitely you can do that. Okay. Then is Sandy's overall variable overhead cost variance is 1,250 adverse, but there is not adequate data to segregate Sandy's variable cost variance into price and quantity, which is your variable overhead expenditure and efficiency variance. So there is no enough data for us to do that. Okay. And anything else? So other than that, they've just explained of fixed overhead cost variance, and we've understood everything in detail. All of this I've explained you, as I said while I was explaining the formulas. All of this is explained in detail, including the variable overhead as well. Okay, so with this we complete this questionnaire. I hope we are clear, and full 10 marks if this question comes. So I hope you've written it. You can take 2 minutes and quickly write it down. Quickly. You can just pause the video and write it down. Yes, sure. Giving you all 2 minutes, 1 minute to just pause the video, write it down. 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 Okay then, so with this we complete today's session, episode number 4. I hope things are going with great swing. Anything else, do share your thoughts in the comment for any new things that you want from me. I'll be happy to oblige you. Thank you so much guys. Keep smiling. Say hasta la vista. Say hasta la vista in the comments. Yes, thank you.